Hi everybody! Hi everybody, here we are, and I have some quad stretches for you. And I have 2 or 3 different approaches. Some are more gentle, some are more strenuous. So it really depends on how open your quads are, like how tight they are, according to what degree you need to go to get the stretch. So we're going to start on our belly, because one of my favorite ones, and you can do this on your laying on your side as well, is to just pull one foot back. But I like doing it on the belly. If it doesn't feel good on the belly, you can do it on your side. You're just going to bring your left arm across the top of the mat, so it's parallel to the front of the mat. Bend your right foot, your right knee, and bring your right hand back. You square your hips. The left foot acts like a cobra foot. The straight leg foot, press your toenails down and make that leg active. Square your shoulders. So you're drawing your right shoulder forward, your left shoulder back. And then gently pulling that left foot in towards the left buttock. Now when you do that, a couple of things can happen here that you might use to get more deeply into the stretch. One is to try to press your right knee, the bent knee, down into the mat a little. At the same time that you're pulling your foot into your buttock, you're pressing the right knee down into the mat. The second thing is you might try to pull one of your ribs, another rib, up off the mat. So instead of letting the belly hang down, try to pull the belly in and up. Try to lift a rib up off the mat. I'm going to just switch the grip on my foot because it's quite open and I need a little bit more of a stretch there. So I just flipped it up with the elbow pointing up to get deeper into that stretch there. Okay, but you could be here if that feels good. Okay, so we're going to do that on both sides. Switch here and change. So you're bringing this foot in towards the hip. The straight leg foot acts like a cobra foot. If this is uncomfortable in your low back in any way, just come onto your side and draw the foot to the hip in that manner. So the bent knee is going to press down towards the mat. Square the shoulders. Draw the belly in a little bit and pull a rib off of the mat. So not letting the ribs hang down, but pulling the belly in. There's a little scooping in the tailbone that happens there, where it kind of feels like you're pressing your pubic bone down into the mat. And you're just looking for that stretch in the bent knee, in the bent leg quadricep. And the side version, of course, is just supporting the head and pulling the foot in this way and then pressing the hips forward or to the side. So if you're quite tight in the quads, those 2 things can get in. If you're a little bit more open in the quads, you're going to go ahead and walk yourself up. And if you have tight quads, I'd recommend stretching them a couple times a day to get in. One of my favorite stretches, but requires the knees to be okay with kneeling, so that's just up to your body there, is to lean back. Now you can put your hands on blocks or on a bolster here if you want to make the floor come up to you. And then all it is here is pressing the knees down into the mat and pressing the hips forward towards the front of the mat. And that's going to give you this lovely opening here in the front of the thigh. Now, those of you that are really tight, I've seen people go into this in class and immediately they're like, whoa, it's so tight. For me, I need to almost come down a little bit with it to the elbows. Same principle, pressing the knees down into the mat, pressing the hips forward towards the front of the mat. That's where I need to go to get an opening in the front of the thigh, right here. But if I'm doing a lot of hiking and biking, that's not the case. Okay, so the last one is a really exciting one, and it's kind of a doozy. So I'm showing these to you kind of quickly, but you can spend more time once you know them. You can spend more time in them if you want to. So this one requires quite a good padding underneath the knee, and this could be a foam chip block or anything else. And how it works is this. So we're going to step the right foot forward, or left foot, I guess, if this is in the camera. The right knee is going to be on the blanket fold, and the blanket fold is going to be right next to the wall. You need wall for this. And then we're going to take that back foot, the right foot, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the foot, I'm just going to come to the side to show you a little bit. We're going to put the back of the foot, or the top of the foot, I should say, so the toes are pointing straight up the wall. You want to be careful that your foot's not sickling, right? It's not curling, but that the toes are in fact going straight up. And then all you're going to do is you're going to slide the back knee closer to the wall. And already you might be saying, holy macaroni, Angie, this is a little bit intense. It's sort of like a lizard pose. You could have hands on your blocks. This front foot is like in a lunge. So the knee is on top of the ankle. And you're sliding that foot up the wall. Yeah. And then as you need to get more of a stretch, so for a lot of people, you'll have a stretch right there. The foot, I'm just moving off to the side so you can see how the foot is positioned. That sometimes can give a stretch for people right there. If you're really not tight in the quads, you'll have to come up to get the stretch. The toes are still going straight up the wall. The foot's not curling or sickling. The more that you move your upper body towards the wall, the bigger the stretch in this guy. Oh, it feels so good. So eventually you're here, yeah? You move your shoulders back. It's a big, big stretch, and there's variation, there's variances, right? You could be more here, you could be more here. But make sure that this back knee has a lot of cushiness, right? It could even be like a double, something super soft so that your kneecap isn't complaining in any way, shape, or form. It's tricky stretching quads and making sure that the knees don't hurt. If any quad stretches cause grief to your knees, you want to back out. If you've got sensitive knees, sometimes it's harder to stretch your quads. But like I said, you can always lay on your side and pull the foot in because it doesn't put a lot of strain on the kneecap itself. All right, so I hope that's helpful. Yeah, and then the other side would be, of course, like this. It's kind of an awkward one to get into. You're in a lunge. The knee is on the blanket. The foot's pointing straight up. And then you're working to slide the knee. Eventually, you're sliding the knee all the way back to the wall. And then as you come up, that's where the stretch goes. Whew. Oh, so delicious. And then, of course, don't forget to breathe. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Oh, thanks, you guys, for this suggestion. My quads are thanking you right now. So that's it for our quad 1, 2, and 3 pose that you can do to stretch out the quads. I hope you have fun with that. Some of the problems that can arise are this knee is not against the wall. Like if the knee is really far forward, that's not going to work. You want to have the knee right close to the wall, right? As close to the wall as possible. And then the second part is making sure the toes are going straight up. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. Have fun.